What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you a World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This will be one of my replays, and it is a standard battle on Swamp. I'm driving my Lorr.40t, and, well, again, this is 9.6, this is an old replay, so I don't recall exactly what happened during this match, so we will find out together, and that is the way I like it when I'm doing my commentaries, my replays. Honestly, because one of the reasons I enjoy you guys submitting replays so much is due to the fact that I really don't have any idea what's going to go on. I get surprised just as much as you do. It's more fun for me, and if I do a commentary on one of my games immediately after it happens, it's a little less fun for me, honestly. But I know you guys want the new stuff, and I want to bring it to you. I want to bring you 9.12, 9.13 for sure. And hopefully you'll see that in the next week or so to come. But in the meantime, enjoy 9.6. This is actually possibly the last 9.6 replay. There's one more that I'm not sure if I'm going to do or not due to varying circumstances around it. It is a bat chat game. It's from a friend, although he didn't directly, like, he was bragging about it. I'm like, you mind if I do a commentary on it? He's like, sure, if you want to. But it wasn't really like a submission, and it wasn't really requested per se, so I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling about it. If you don't see it, it'll be 9.7, which actually will be uploaded pretty much in the same playlist because there's only like a few replays from 9.7. So we're catching up pretty quick, and then there'll be a good chunk of 9.9. Anyway, going to the standard medium tank spot right here on the hill, getting off 2 shots from my autoloader, and getting both hits for damage on the LTTB, doing a little bit of early game damage, which is what I like to do when I have the mobility to get into a spot, an Overwatch location where I can fire pretty much for free on enemy vehicles that are crossing into their positions. Now, this is the old version of Swamp. If you're playing World of Tanks right now during the 9.12, 9.13 time frame, it is 9.13. I don't even know why I said 9.12. Swamp looks a lot different. I can't remember when it was changed. I want to say it was 9.10, maybe 9.9. It wasn't at this point in time, however, as you can very easily see. And this is why. This match pretty much demonstrates why to a T. There's a whole lot of camping going on, a whole lot of tanks sitting on hills, no one really doing anything, except for my team right now, my Panther 88 and T69 getting ballsy, and unfortunately that Tiger 2 crossing right in front of my gun reticle, but I am still reloading, probably still got a good 10 seconds left at the very least before I will be ready to fire, and then hopefully I can destroy him. It looks like he wants to turn and engage the Panther 88, but that will expose him. I'm shooting at his lower plate, not really getting anything at this distance. Second shot for nothing, hitting that rock. Third shot, aiming at the turret, and I do get a good final hit there. But he's crossing over, making the biggest mistake he could have, and he will die for it. I will get the kill. Kill number 1 for me. Hitting him, and that is one of the reasons I like the spot, was because it allowed me to get early flanking positions on vehicles in set positions, such as that Tiger 2, and got early shots on the LTTB, who got a little over aggressive. Right now I'm reloading, so I can't really help my team, and one of the things I love to do as I'm reloading, as an auto-loading vehicle, a clipping vehicle, is to really just relocate and pretty much utilize my mobility and reposition myself on the map while I'm reloading, because there's no sense in me looking in the direction of enemy vehicles trying to support my team when I have like 40 seconds on a reload. There's just no point to it. It is important to note the enemy team did have one more tier 9 than us, and that is not the case anymore. They have 2 more because one of ours died. Ricochet. I want to kill this LTTB, and I should do so quite easily, especially when I track him like that. Trying to protect our ISU a little bit from getting flanked, which is what that LTTB thought he was going to do with that 12-ton. They thought they were going to flank that ISU 152, and I pretty much just said, no, I should have shots on this T-34, nice and out in the open, and he's getting shot from all over the place, to be honest, and he will die. One final shot. I'm looking for who I'm going to shoot, thinking it's going to be this STA2, and it is. RISU 152. Maybe I should have helped him out a little. If I had a better situational awareness, I probably could have guaranteed the fact that I killed that 12-ton instead of just damaging the STA2 and possibly helping out our ISU a bit more. But he does have that 1375 there, who will hopefully help him. I mean, a light tank sitting back in the base, and that's another odd thing about this match. If you were paying attention to the team roster, there was a whole lot of light tanks per team. There was like 4 per team, if I recall correctly. And so that definitely led to an interesting sort of circumstance where there's a whole lot of light vehicles, a whole lot of, you know, pew-pewers, and not a whole lot of heavy hitters. But that 12-ton does get eliminated by me finally. The 1375 finally doing something. The 12-ton just going around trying to flank, but I'm on his flank, and he is all but doomed at this point in time. Kill number 5 for me. And looking for a bit more damage, decided to reload because, well, why not? Close to 3,000 damage at this point in time, and the enemy team continues to kind of make what I would call poor decisions. Driving out in the open with an autoloader, you know, flanking back and forth on these hills, getting multiple shots off. Yeah, I mean, good game for me. I'm happy about it. A curious thing that happened was my team had the tier 8 and tier 9 GW Tigers, GW Tiger P. So we had German Arty, but I think it died before it managed to really get anything done. One of them does have a kill, but honestly, with those vehicles with artillery on this map, if you're intelligent about where you go, you really should be one of the last vehicles to die, unless you get counter-artied, which comes and goes as a thing. It used to be a lot more popular until artillery reload times were nerfed into Armageddon, but that's really not the point of this match, is it? Zooming in, deciding to look for that STA2, hoping he's still there somewhere, or he might poke around again. Maybe the 103 will go up there. Maybe the LTTB will decide to peek over that and try and scout and light something up. Our 1390 is being a good little light tank and trying to scout out the enemy hill, proxy spot at the very least, and get some lights for us. He is near death, however, so not quite sure if he's just scouting or trying to be intelligent about it. I mean, honestly, I probably don't play as aggressive as I should sometimes as the light tanks when I am doing that scouting role. But right now, I would argue he is doing a good job for himself, but putting himself at possible unnecessary risk. The M103, not fully upgraded due to it should, I believe... No, that is fully upgraded. For a second, I thought its unupgraded turret was 1850, but it's not. I think that is its upgraded turret. Just shows how long it's been since I've driven the M103, and since I've really actively fought one in World of Tanks. Managing to kill RT-32, big brother killing the little brother. Although, yeah, I'll stick with that. I was going to argue about semantics of what you would technically call the next tank on the tech tree, but the Lorr.40t I see is a very easy kill. Getting spotted. I do have to be cautious because there are some artillery pieces still left for the enemy team and a T95, so definitely don't want to get hit by him. If I had to hazard a guess, due to him being unspotted, probably on the 0 line, maybe the 9 line, maybe on base. I honestly, like I said, I cannot recall. Despite this being one of my games, getting shot at and fortunately being missed by the enemy team. Hopefully going to find the STA2, who is still on the hill. There we go. Came out right in the open exactly like I wanted, and I will get 1 shot and maybe 2 shots for kill. Yep. Monster kill number 6, Top Gun awarded. And at this point in time, I am mere hit points away, less than 50 hit points away from getting myself high caliber as well. So just about 3,400 hit points worth of damage dealt. The M103 is way over there, and I'm like, I'm not going to fight you from the front, because that is, I mean, medium tank fighting a heavy tank from the front. Least ideal situation. What I'm going to do is, again, utilize my superior mobility and my reload time and relocate while I'm reloading. So, very effective use of that time frame, I believe, and try and get flanks on these guys. The LTTB is definitely a top priority for me because he's an easy kill. A possible 1-shot if I high roll, if I'm not mistaken. The M103 probably going to be a 3-shot, and the T95 still at full health. However, if I recall correctly, in a recent patch, the T95 got a buff to its health, a very slight one by comparison to some other vehicles, like the Yog Tiger got a recent buff to his health from 1800 to 2100, a 300 hit point buff. The Ferdinand got buffed by like 300 hit points too, so did the T28. So significant changes to those TDs. That greatly increases their survivability. And T95, however, at this point in time, at 9.6, does not have that buff, so going to be a little bit easier to kill. If I recall, I do believe my average damage is 300. So, if the cursor would show up, there it is. Yep, 300. I just wanted to confirm. I mean, I have my bat chat now, which I know its average damage is 390. So I have more or less an average damage of 1500 in the clip. I'm sorry, 1800. I was, again, thinking bat chat with a 5-round clip. The Lorr.40t has a 6-round clip, which gives, honestly, I kind of prefer having more shots of less damage, because that means if one shot misses or bounces, it's less significant. And I go back and forth between what I would like to use on my bat chat, whether that be this gun, because this gun is an option, or the 390 damage gun, the top gun. And the only reason I use the 390 damage gun is simply due to the fact that it has better penetration. Otherwise, I might want my damage spread out across more shots to give me a bit more reliability in the damage I do, because again, if one misses or bounces, it's less significant. I'm letting my team know I am ready to fire. And going into the enemy team, hoping to not get completely wrecked by it. Already shot in a T95, still at full health because I've been playing very cautiously, very cheeky by getting on people's flanks and shooting them when they really have no idea I'm there, and getting zero punishment for it, period. I mean, just being completely on the flank the whole time. And the T95 was hanging back in the 9-0 line. The LTTB deciding he wants to run away and try and survive, but runs into our forces instead. The M12 deciding he wants to try and derp. I'm like, bro, there's an M103 T95 over there. Okay, so you're going in. That's cool. He really wanted that already kill. And I'm like, well, while you do that, I'm going to be your flanking partner and get on this M103. And then I'm like, whoa, 95. Maybe not. And then all of a sudden there was 2. So I want my Centurion ally to come help. I'm in a bit of a tight spot here, having the M103 and T95 on my kind of front here. And I do actually press the help button to request help from our Centurion, who is being overly cautious at this point in time. I have earned myself high caliber, obviously, getting that 3404 damage needed. And the 103 deciding he's going to try and flank, again, using my superior mobility to just get the hell out of dodge and not really be surrounded. I mean, I knew the 95 was going to go one way and the 103 was going to go the other, quite possibly, and I didn't want to find myself in a situation where I was getting flanked instead of being the flanker.
Critical hit.
The 103 thought I was going to keep driving around this mountain, but I intentionally turned around with the full purpose of fooling him. We saw his gun turning the other way, either to anticipate me coming around this mountain when I come, or to engage the Centurion. I'm not sure which, but at this point in time, trying again to play a bit of mind games. I'm like, well, where does the 95 think I'm probably coming from? He probably thinks I'm going to come around this side, so I'm just going to like back out, see if I can spot him, see what's going on, and kind of also waiting for my Centurion ally to spot the 95. But I have decided, apparently, and I'm going to go back around the side I was on, use these lower divots, and the 95 does find himself a little bit exposed. I'm like, perfect, I'm going to go right up on that hill. He had zero chance of hitting me, not quite sure why he took that shot, but I will go up on the hill and come down on top of him. And there's virtually nothing he can do to stop his death at this point. It's all but over. It's all ogre now, and he should submit to his fate. Again, the 95, those extra hit points would not have helped him in this. And I get 9 kills. I think the commentator said unstoppable. I love that mod pack. The Unreal Tournament mod pack makes this game so much more fun for me. But let's go to those post-game stats and see how everyone else did. And here we go, getting myself Mastery Badge, Ace Tanker, Fire for Effects, Spotter, Bruiser, and then we get into the really important stuff, Medals, Rally Walters, High Caliber, and Top Gun, but we kind of knew those 3 were coming. Definitely not earning myself Confederate, not for lack of trying, but I mean, when you get 9 kills, you have 0 chance of Confederate, actually. Zero chance. You got too many kills. It's not gonna happen. It is important to note I finished that game without taking a single hit. Like, I don't think I got hit once. I don't even think I got... No, I did get shot at once when I was on the hill, but it missed. So, very happy about that. But, let us rack and stack here. The M103 on the enemy team doing a very good job for himself. Same with that T95. Not quite sure when that damage was, but it looks like he was able to get a good chunk of damage there for himself. The artillery, the STA2, the Lorr.40t on the enemy team, both of them. Oh, I actually failed to take note of that. Not doing too hot. Not as hot as me, anyway. Getting 5,344 damage. Excuse me, our Centurion ally getting a good chunk of damage for himself as well. The T30 could have done better, but not too... excuse me again, I do not know what is up with my stomach right now. It just decided to start messing with me. But artillery piece not doing too hot. The other artillery piece doing okay. Just Tiger 2, we saw him and he can thank us for that poor match in a certain degree. But at the same time, he was the one who decided to drive out there. Definitely playing a lot of mind games with people towards the end of this game and doing a lot of flanking, shooting everyone on their sides, and really just finding everyone distracted, not intentionally so, like not really even forcing it, just being in the right place at the right time when the enemy tanks were like focused on one of our allies. I'm just like, oh hi, I'm gonna unload my entire clip into 1,800 points of damage on average, and then disappear for a while I reload and relocate, and then oh, here's another guy finding a teammate and attacking him. I'm gonna shoot him too. So I was just a flanking nightmare for the enemy team, but worked out very well for us. Got 10 damage, 9 destroyed. A little bit of damage due to our assistance, and again, that just shows how much flanking we were doing. Over 5 kilometers of distance traveled, 30 shots fired, 25 of those hitting, 23 actually penetrating, getting us a good chunk of damage like we've already said, but over 3,800 of that done from more than 300 meters away, so even sniping quite a bit there. People might criticize me for being a... I guess the term in World of Tanks, is it still the term chai sniping? It kind of works here, and yeah, it's kind of looked down upon, not too favorably. But that's just because people get annoyed at the prospect of a tank popping up doing damage and then disappearing, and then popping up doing damage, disappearing, and not really being in the fight, so to say. But you really can't argue, especially towards the end, that I wasn't in the fight. I was really point blank with those guys. It's just I was intelligent in how I engaged them. I wasn't going to engage them on their terms or even on equal terms. I was going to engage them on my terms, which were completely in my favor and unfair to them. And that's how you gotta play. That's the way you get those better performing games. That's the way you come out on top and win more than you lose, is just by forcing the fight to be on your terms and favor you. And the good old quote is, if you're fighting a fair fight, you're doing something wrong. Quite frankly, if you've never heard that before, I definitely know I'm just paraphrasing it. I don't actually recall the exact quote, but that's the gist of it. You can probably look it up and see who said it, but I'm not gonna do that right now. If you're curious, you can find out on your own. But that's gonna about wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please consider giving it a like. If you want to see more, definitely be sure to subscribe. And if you've got a replay you want me to do a commentary on, you think I should do a commentary on, there are instructions in the description below. And finally, if you got something you want to share or suggest in relation to my videos or channel, comment section below for that as well. But until next time, this has been Spang, and clearly I am just oh so professional.
MLG Dynamo!